Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Spreading the News. This is episode 16. My name is Chase, and I am your host, and we are here with Brian.
How are we doing? Chase, let me be the one to ask you this time. How are you doing? How's your week? How's your weekend?
I've been having a pretty good week. Had a pretty good weekend. Yeah. Thanks for asking, man. I appreciate that.
Dude,
like
of
you said, I'm
course.
always the one asking, so it's good to get that change of pace.
Yeah.
How about you, man? How's your weekend been going?
Pretty good, man. I mean, Yankee-wise, it's been a little up and down. I feel like we got the good, the bad, and the ugly this week. But
And it's gonna happen over 162, huh?
yeah, of course.
It's gonna happen. Everyone's probably wondering right now, where's Danny?
Yeah.
I don't know. Where is he, Brian?
We actually don't even know either. He's in some mystical place in upstate New York. I don't know.
So Danny joined before, like 10 minutes ago, and his Wi-Fi was garbage, and he was trying to get it going, and it just wasn't working. And then the Wi-Fi was that bad that it kicked him out. So we don't know what's going on. And we were like, Danny, where are you on vacation? He was like, upstate New York. We're like, where upstate New York? And he was like, school, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we have no idea. It might be a front. He might be like just trying to get out of the episode. I'm not sure where that is.
So if he's listening, I'm sure he will, because he did criticize Brian when Brian wasn't listening to our episode that he missed. So I'm sure he'll listen. But if he is listening, Danny, rectify this next episode so that we know that you listened.
Yeah, that's his test. Just tell us
That's
where he
his
was on
test.
vacation and spell it out or explain, because I have no idea where that is personally.
Yeah, he literally told us, and we were like, "What, dude?"
Yeah, I don't really know.
I was like, "Brian, did you catch that?" He goes, "Not sure I did, man."
No, I'm not really sure. He could be anywhere in the world right now.
He's MIA. He's in an alternate dimension.
Yeah.
But the Yankees right now might as well be in an alternate dimension because they just split with the Red Sox. It was a weird series. We'll get into that in a little bit. But as always, we always start with our Yankee of the week. So, Brian, let's start off with Danny's Yankee of the week since he's not here. We'll just get that out of the way.
Yeah.
So Danny's Yankee of the week was Aaron Hicks, of course. He's been absolutely raking lately. I just wanted to show I'm wearing my Aaron Hicks shirt today.
Mm-hmm.
I got this shirt after the diving play in Minnesota, the famous Hicks game. So I think it was from John Boy. So shout out to John Boy Media. We love you guys over there. But yeah, Aaron Hicks has been on fire. Brian, what do you got? What do you got for Aaron Hicks?
I got an apology for Aaron Hicks. First off, because I'll be the first one to say I wanted this guy off the face of the earth at a point in this season. And I think it was split among the fans, whether people believed in him or whether they thought he was done. I don't know how you felt about it, Chase, but I know like Joe McFly on Twitter, his famous tweet that he keeps bringing up now is like, Hicks will be back.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Danny's back. All right, I'm just gonna keep going.
Surprise appearance here. What's going on?
Danny just popped back.
Hello.
Yeah, what's up, man? We're right in the middle of Hicks. If you want to give your thing.
Hixie!
Oh no! Oh, no.
Do they know why I wasn't there? Why I wasn't
Yeah.
there? How do I? This
Oh,
is
God.
very confusing to me. I'm on my phone now. So
What's
All
up?
right.
What's up, Danny? Danny, let me ask you, how's your day going?
anyway,
Okay, get right into it. Go for it.
how's my day going? How's my day? I don't even know what you said. All right, but I'm here. I'm here. I know.
All right, so let's do that again. I'm your host.
But how
Chase,
about Aaron
I'm here with
Hicks?
Brian, and we're here with Danny.
Yeah, now we're here with Danny.
Okay, Danny. Aaron Hicks, go ahead. Go ahead.
Aaron Hicks, my Yankee of the week. Let's go, Hicks. Oh my God, how awesome has he been? Come on. We'd love to talk so much about him because he deserved it, but now he's honestly putting us in the conversation where we might not even need to trade for an outfielder if he keeps hitting like this. He has he's hitting 338 with a 444 on base and a 957 slugging. I don't know how to do this.
Can you repeat his stats again, Danny?
I was gonna do it.
You got it, Brian?
Yeah, for those that didn't hear, because Danny's in the mystical.
Why repeat him?
Danny's Wi-Fi. Right? He's in an alternate dimension, so his Wi-Fi is a little spotty.
Let me clear up the stats. Hicks has hit 348 this week, 444 on base percentage, 957 slugging, and he's hit 3 homers with 6 RBIs and stole 2 bases.
Hey man, don't make fun. This is dedication. I'm on vacation and I'm still dialing in for my phone.
Absolutely.
Come on now.
I'm loving it. I told you, Danny texted us before, and Danny was like, "Should I join?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. We need you."
The connection is bad. But anyway, a lot of clutch hits, a lot of clutch Red Sox hits, which you love to see. You love guys that come through clutch in rivalry games. But he hit that grand slam off the position player in Pittsburgh.
Bro is pacing his basement right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I don't know how to just set my phone up. I don't know.
That grand slam does bolster the stats a little bit. Hicks threw his bat as if it was like a walk-off homer against a position player in Pittsburgh.
Hicks has been on absolute fire. Oh, he's
there.
Danny
goes.
He's
All right,
gone.
that was a good cameo.
If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, just for context, go look at YouTube and you can see the genuine reactions from me and Brian. That was not scripted. He just texted us, "This is a disaster." So he must have just gotten kicked.
Really, I'm gonna be honest. I really hope he does not join back.
That was. Oh, here he is. He's back. Daniel Donato is connected to. He was connecting. Here we go. Hang on.
I respect you, but I don't know what to do.
All right. So where did we leave off?
Oh, yeah.
Danny, you there?
Oh.
I'll just go no camera.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I'll tell you, Hicks hit the grand slam.
All right.
Hicks hit the grand slam off the position player in Pittsburgh, and ever since then, he's been the best player.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Danny.
All right.
And just Danny, why don't you read your text that you were telling us to say, but now that you're here, you can read it about the Red Sox fans.
All right, yeah. I mean, the Red Sox walk us off in extra innings in a heartbreaking loss. And the 2 games before that, when the Yankees hit well and beat them, all the Red Sox fans on Twitter are saying it's just the regular season. Why, we just wait to the playoffs and do again, whatever. And they win on a walk off and they win 2 games. And they celebrate like they just won the World Series. Like, it's crazy how hypocritical they could be. And then, Brian, I know that one guy on Twitter that was going back with you. He's saying the Yankees can't hit AA pitching or something like that.
You were going at it with someone, Brian?
Yeah,
a little bit.
On his Twitter, he's saying how it was ridiculous because the Red Sox obviously have a hurt staff, but they're bullpen guys there, and that the Yankees weren't hitting for a little bit on Saturday night baseball. I mean, we had 8 hits, but we didn't have the runs. And this guy's like, "Oh, it's great the Yankees can't hit AA pitching." And then he celebrates like they won the World Series after saying it's the regular season, wait till playoffs. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Were you going at it on your personal or SpreadinTheNews?
It was the personal. It was under John Boy's tweet about when the broadcast celebrated like the World Series just won about Plawecki's throwing out of Higgy.
Mm-hmm.
And I replied like, "This broadcast is so anti-Yankees," and it got like 80 likes. And then somebody replied, like a bunch of people were replying, so a couple of Red Sox fans, and this guy was like hilarious, like they can't hit AA pitching, which had nothing to do with what I was saying. But then it was just interesting. I mean, I feel like I learned a bit about the Red Sox and the Red Sox fans. I mean, what got me with that is like I don't want to talk about them so much, but they're doing the cart thing down like 9-2 in like when they're 15 games back. Like, it's just really interesting to me. Like, that's something that if the Yankees did, I'd be really upset with. I'm actually really glad the Yankees don't have a stupid prop home run celebration, because I feel like that's such a unprofessional.
Like the Blue Jays jacket.
And the Angels or the Phillies like have the sun hat. Like, it's just like weird.
Last year we tried to do that. We tried to do the jacket thing in Houston, and then we got burned by Altuve's walk-off home run in the last game and stopped that very quick.
I like that at that time because it was like purely out of spite. But like those weird, like the cart thing, it just, there's a line of when to do it and when not to do it. And down like the Red Sox were in that game, when they're so behind the Yankees in the race, like just was like definitely like a bad look. And it's not even a bias, like fuck the Red Sox thing. It's just like weird to me. And if the Yankees did that, I'd be very like embarrassed.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I would be embarrassed. And it's like, no, the Aaron Hicks hits a nuke, and then the Red Sox fans are saying the Yankees suck literally at bat after that. The at bat after Hicks hits a bomb, game tying home run at the time, and they're screaming Yankees suck. Like, there's a time and a place to do that stuff. You don't do it right after they just hit a home run off you.
Yeah,
that's just part of the experience of the rivalry, though. Like, that's like what you have to expect. I mean, I'm not gonna flaw the Red Sox fans for doing that just because, like, obviously it's dumb, but like,
if I'm at a Yankee game and we just gave up a bomb and people start screaming Red Sox suck, whoever we're playing suck, I'm like, dude, they just crushed us right there. Like, they beat us there. We can't say that right now because right now isn't the time to do it.
I agree, and I also
they hit home run. Clearly, they don't suck.
I do agree with you, Chase, too. Like, that is what the rivalry is. It's like kind of whether it's worth, like, whether it's correct or not. Like, they're just gonna go back and forth. I mean, Yankee fans probably would have done some stupid thing if we were home. I mean, they're so far behind us now. Like, this is what they got. Like, they got to beat us. Like, and that's like when they're playing against us, and like that is maybe their like World Series a little bit. Not to be like that, but like, I mean, we had Red Sox fans like in my Twitter replies saying like, we're not thinking about the division anymore. Like, we just want to get to the playoffs and beat you guys there. Like, so that's kind of over for them.
I saw a bunch of like verified Red Sox beat writers. I don't know if they were beat writers, but Red Sox verified fans, maybe beat writers, but they were all saying like the Red Sox pitching staff is depleted right now, and the Yankees can barely beat like their AA pitchers, and like the Yankees are celebrating like a win when they won by like 1 or 2 runs. Like, obviously, like a win is a win. Like, what? Like, we're not.
I've said that so many times on this podcast. I've said it so many times. Like, when people say, "Oh, you shouldn't be happy with a walk-off win over the Rangers or whatever," like, no, a win's a win in this sport. When you're playing 162 games a season, you take all the wins. Like, every win matters. It doesn't matter how you do it. Like I said, we saw the Pirates sweep the Dodgers. Anything can happen. So if we win, it doesn't matter how we win. We celebrate the win. We're happy we won. Like, what? We're supposed to be upset over a loss? I mean, over a win? How? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I told like the worst argument ever, and like the lamest, most sad, like defeated argument is baseball fans making like the you should have won by more, or like this. That's like just a weird thing. Like, I don't like, or you should be happy with any win. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like, you could say that. I could see you saying that in a sport like football, or, where you only play 17 games. Like, when the Bucks barely beat the Jets last year, then you could kind of say like, yeah, the Bucks should have beat them by more. Obviously, you're happy with the win. But in baseball, it's just such a different game where like you take all the wins no matter how you win them. Doesn't matter what team you're playing. If you win, you win.
One of the Red Sox writers made a tweet that I can't pull up right now. Somebody else can, but it's just like it was before yesterday's game. But it was like he gave out the scores of the Yankee Red Sox games this year, and he's like, other than one, like they've all been close. Although the Yankees have won most of the games, like they're apart on the standings, but not on the field. Like, yes, they are. Like, beating them all those times is beating them. Like, I don't care if they win by 1 or not. And like, even that 6-5 win the Yankees had the other day was a great win. Like, the close games are often better wins. Like, it was a great win. And it's Yankees Red Sox. It's the rivalry. It's not like these aren't some shitty team like the Pirates. Like, the Red Sox are always going to play us well, and we're always going to play the Red Sox well, regardless of how well the teams are that year. Like, it's always going to be like that. It's like the split was obviously frustrating, especially after winning those first 2 games, which I always say I hate is to split after winning the first 2 games. But like, the Red Sox are still a good team, but like, what are we supposed to do? I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that tweet.
Wait, Brian, you put it good.
Go ahead, Danny.
Go ahead, Brian. You put it good in a text you sent to us. Like, you win the first 2 games and you go on to lose the series. I know technically we didn't lose the series, but when you win the first 2 and then lose the second 2, like, especially the fashion that they did, it feels like you lost the series.
Yeah, that's what I was saying with that. I do feel like we lost that Red Sox series. Like, obviously, like that's just my feeling. Obviously, on the stats and the standings.
And the Red Sox are leaving that thinking that it was a big win. Winning the last 2, and they won the last 2 in frustrating fashion. With the walk-off was hype for them, I assume, and then to kind of kill us next day. But
Brian, I'm glad you brought up that tweet because that's like exactly what I was referring to. I just couldn't remember it off the top of my head. And also this Jared Carabas tweet. He says, regardless of what the wins and losses look like in this series against all rookie starters already, And then he says the main takeaway will be that the Red Sox rocked Derek Cole, Nestor Cortez, and touched up their untouchable closer. The series was never about the division. And then Phil Hughes, former Yank, replies and says, a storied franchise like the Red Sox reduced to celebrating little victories and losses. Sad.
It's true. And I love that former Yankees like that are going to stick up for the current Yankees, because like Phil Hughes really has nothing to do with this current team, but he's still like, a Yankee for life, and that's awesome. And he's totally right. Like if this was flipped, like I'd be like trying to catch them, like, and I'd want to sweep them. Like, I don't know, just a weird like settling. I mean, they seem defeated.
I'm reading through the replies.
To say
here.
they beat up on Clay Holmes, though. To
He
say they
did. He
beat
said
up
they
on Clay
touched
Holmes,
him
like
up.
you're going to, like, I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, they got one hit off him. I mean,
I'm reading through
it happens.
I'm reading through the replies here, and I hate to bring up another podcast, but of course, like we love John Boy Media. That's like we don't like to bring them up just because like this is our own show, but we love them. And Talking Jake replied to Jared Carabas's tweet. He said, Jared Cannabis is out tonight, huh? And then a Red Sox fan replies to Talking Jake. He says, I cannot wait to see what our full rotation actually does to you guys. And then Jake says, let's figure out 2022 before we get to 2023. So good. But it's true though. Like it's all true. Like what is with like these excuses? Like
It's weird.
And don't get me wrong, like
crazy.
the Yankees, like I feel like we've given the Yankees excuses in the past, but like, because the Yankees, like at some points have really not been healthy in the past few years.
I can't remember a time where everybody was healthy besides like this year. Knocking on wood, like I don't.
Yeah, I'm knocking on wood too, but yeah, I mean, it's just like annoying. Like if you're 14 games back in the division, like how can you even talk? Like you got to give credit where credit's due. Like I always say you got to give credit where credit's due. I don't know. It's maybe it would be good to have a Red Sox fan on right now to give us that other perspective. But yeah, it was just a weird series. It was really weird. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Aaron Hicks started all of this, but
No, it was just an interesting stretch. I mean, the week started with that weird loss to Pittsburgh that was just like a pain to watch. Like they couldn't score. Like one of two bad starts from Jameson this week. That was a brutal game to watch. Then they start off the 16-0 shellacking of the Pirates. Like those two teams looked like they belonged on different levels of baseball fields in that game. Then two great wins over the Red Sox on Thursday and Friday. One was the 6-5, like great, like gutty win they got, and one was like more of a dominant win. And then to follow it up with bad Saturday and Sunday losses. So like definitely, like I said at the start of the show, like the good, the bad, the ugly we got, especially yesterday, was probably the ugliest game of baseball I've seen the Yankees play in years. Definitely the worst this year with all the errors they made. And for some reason, the pop-ups in Fenway are becoming a serious issue, maybe because that stadium was built 100 years ago and the lights their 1950 lights are not working properly. I mean, I'm not going to make that excuse because the Red Sox had issues with it. The Yankees had issues with it yesterday, but just definitely yesterday was a weird game and not a game I enjoyed watching.
Yeah, I mean, seeing DJ last night, like all of them, like that blue pop fly that was in between like center, right field, and DJ, like between Judge, Hicks, and DJ, that DJ ultimately ended up dropping. I think after the game, DJ said he felt like he had the best read on the ball, and he felt like there was no chance that Hicks or Judge could have gotten there. So if that is the truth, I mean, can't really fault him for that. But like those plays, those plays got to be made. Like I don't know.
Absolutely, especially like in the playoffs, like that can't happen.
Yeah.
Like all we've done is talk up DJ, especially his defense. So this was definitely like a weird, fluky game for DJ.
Mm-hmm.
He's had his like weird fair share of pop-up struggles, I feel like.
Definitely, and he dropped one in the playoffs one year against the Twins at home.
And I feel like this year too, he's actually played
twice.
second.
Actually,
he's played second base probably the least this year. So definitely a little weird thing for him. I mean, he called those both off. So like, once you do that, that's your fault if you don't make that play. The first one, I think Judge could have had like easily, but again, I mean, it's hard to like look back at the ball, look at Judge, see where he is. The second one, I don't think Hicks was going to get there because Hicks made the wrong read and took a few steps back, because we see that Hicks is just not the outfielder he was. Like, although he's been hitting, like he's still not that. So
I also think Hicks might be more comfortable in left now than he is in center, honestly.
He's not like the spry, young, late 20s quick center fielder anymore at all.
I agree.
So, I mean, given the option of Judge or Hicks in center, I think it's definitely Judge now because Judge is quicker. Judge gets the better reads. But again, like those are just weird fluky plays. Another huge defensive mistake last night, which started that whole rally, was IKF spiking that ball in the dirt. I had to get that in there because I mean we've talked so much about him and his defense and how recently he's actually been like flashing the leather, making like dazzling plays. But then again, you see his struggles with the routine ground ball, which just can't happen.
Yeah.
Call up Oswald Peraza.
Have the guy make the routine every time. Yeah.
Why can't they call up Oswald Peraza? He's actually raking right now too. Peraza
doesn't make sense.
I think he will be soon. I think Joe McFly tweeted it last night. Like it's like the break's
he's got to be after the All-Star break.
Those shortstop easy plays, those plays have to be made in the playoffs. That's what loses you playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot like you. I mean, like you said, Brian, we saw it. That's what started the rally. So like that can't like if that happens in playoffs, dude. You're kissing your way to Cancun, kissing a ticket to Cancun.
Absolutely.
Let's.
But,
I did.
Brian, you also brought up.
Go ahead, Danny.
Brian, you brought up Tyone. You also brought up Tyone, his 2 bad starts of the week. He's actually been struggling way more than those 2 starts. I mean, his ERA is up over 4 now at 4.01. And that's obviously a crazy difference from what it was in the beginning of the season. I mean, he was low 3s, 2s even. And his last 7 starts, he has a 6.81 ERA, giving up 27 earned runs in 35 innings. I mean, we got to figure it out. And honestly, like it's putting in the conversation. Do we need another starting pitcher? Do we need another pitcher at the trade deadline? I don't know. I mean, if Tyone can't figure it out and find what he was in the beginning of the season, then
I say yes. You do need another starter.
I do too now. And I was having this conversation the other day. Nestor hasn't looked like he's looked. Not that he was ever supposed to be as good as he was, but he's definitely regressed. And we see it with Tyone now. In a perfect world, him and Nestor and Tyone remained how they did to start the season. And we, ride all the way to the World Series. All they do is pitch 7 innings, 1 run, and it's easy.
Yeah.
We knew that wasn't going to happen. And it seems like it's finally the time where they're starting to slow down a bit. Both those guys, Tyone and Nestor, are not used to pitching this much in their career. Tyone hasn't pitched in a while, like for their injuries. Nestor's never been a high inning guy. Mm-hmm. So now we see it coming with them, and it's definitely concerning. I mean, not too long ago we were like, this rotation is by far the best in baseball. No one could touch them. And right now, I could easily see in the playoffs Nestor and Tyone and maybe Monty, who's been good, but just because he's Monty, completely implode in a playoff game. And I don't want 3 guys that could possibly do that. Even Cole now, especially if we're in Fenway, could do that. So the thought of that, like, and the hope is that all of them won't. Like, you expect one implosion, but it's definitely concerning. I don't know how much I would trust Nestor and Tyone right now in a playoff game. So I do think they would need another starter.
Yeah.
And the frustrating poll this weekend, it was Devers. Devers just did all of that work for the Red Sox in that game when they said they raked off Cole. I mean, Devers it was all Devers. You can't get Devers out.
Yes, I do agree with you, Danny, but also Garrett Cole did walk Plawecki in the 9-hitter.
No,
you can't be walking.
I mean, it is his fault. Yeah, obviously.
That's like a recipe for disaster.
It's his fault. Yeah.
You got to get those outs.
You can't walk the 9-hitter. You can't walk the 9-hitter guaranteeing the guy that absolutely destroys you in at bat with runners on.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Cole even said after the game, like, he has no idea what's going on.
He's had a walk problem this year. Garrett Cole's not really like a walk pitcher, so he's got to figure that out.
I'm back to
it was very weird seeing him say after the game, like how he basically he sounded defeated about Devers. Like, if you guys have any tips or whatever to get him out, then let me know, because I tried everything and it doesn't work. Nothing works on him.
And they're good
weird
pitches
to hear
too.
Him defeated. I never thought it really. Yeah,
he's making good pitches.
The dead center for the 3-run homer. Yeah.
Devers is just
with a changeup below the zone.
Devers is just a sick hitter. I mean, you gotta, like I said, give credit where credit's due. He's a really good hitter. So.
Devers is a freak. Like, but those 2 pitches were good pitches. He just he dug them out of the dirt and crushed them. Like, that was like a tip my cap moment in both homers. And like Danny was saying, Cole even said too. I've never seen Cole like that. Like, we always looked at him probably before here as such a like focused and like badass like starting pitcher guy, and like I'm kind of starting to see like things rattle him pretty quickly. And Devers, and now after hearing him talk about Devers that he does not want to face Devers in any big spot, maybe in any spot, because what Danny said, and then he also said something like, he was like, you're supposed to fail in this game 3 out of 10 times. So what's the deal? Like, this guy just doesn't, he said, I don't know. He never misses. Like every swing he crushes. Like, so it's definitely weird to see. And he's right, but it's just weird to see him admit that, basically say that he has no answer for Rafael Devers. And that's definitely a little concerning.
On the second Devers home run, the answer was to walk him. So,
that's why I text you guys right away in all caps. I mean,
but then you got JD. I don't know. You got JD.
JD's been struggling. You pitched the guy who's struggling over the guy who
I know. I mean,
off
but with the bases loaded, in order to put the bases loaded, I don't know. I mean, I agree. Yeah, you can't really pitch to Devers there, but also you're getting JD Martinez to play with bases loaded. I mean, we know who JD Martinez is, even if he is struggling.
Yeah,
walks are the one thing that can't happen in tight games like that, and you saw that yesterday. I was beyond angry yesterday after Boone elects to put in the 2 most unable to throw strike pitchers we have in Chapman and Castro back to back, and all they did was not find the zone. And I'm going to pull it up while you guys talk because it has to be there, that Chapman has not been a bad reliever. He's been one of the worst relievers in baseball over the past year. If you look at the advanced stats and the numbers, he cannot find the strike zone. And a huge issue with him is runners on. Is when Story had that little blooper, you have Stories on first base, and Chapman could not focus on the hitters after that. He was all about the running game. And then he ended up loading the bases through walks, and we all know how this game and inning ended. He actually only gave up 1 run, but nobody should have even been on.
Mm-hmm.
But just so frustrating.
Yeah.
Miguel Castro comes in and does
Chapman,
his thing, which is, again, unable to find the strike zone.
Chapman can't be in these big situations.
That's what I was about to say.
Until he can find his rhythm. Games. He can't be. You got to pitch him in a role like you pitch in like what Ron Marinaccio was in the earlier in the season. And then he found his stride.
I wish we had him. Wow. Last night we might have won with Marinaccio yesterday.
Yeah, definitely.
It's honestly crazy. It's crazy that we're talking about Aroldis Chapman, like one of the best closers of all time, and we're talking to him, comparing him to Ron Marinaccio. But I agree, he cannot be in close games. He was in honestly just a slap in the face to him, like it's crazy disrespectful. Boone put him in the 16-0 game against the Pirates. Like you went from being our closer, the closer for the New York Yankees, and then all of a sudden you suck, and now you're pitching in the 16-0 blowout win.
Well, the good news is reinforcements are coming. Loaiza pitched a rehab game the other day.
Yes,
I think I read that
back.
It was like a 1-2-3 inning. He looked really good. Apparently, looked really sharp. And Domingo Germán apparently looks really sharp too in his rehab stints. And I think he's ready to be activated actually pretty soon. So I wonder if he'll come back. We need that guy back. I wonder if he'll come back as a starter to kind of relieve the innings off of Tyone and Nestor.
Either one, he could help them a lot. And I do have the Chapman numbers right here. They're all like kind of advanced stats, but I'll just explain where he is and relative to the rest of the league. So this is a great tweet by Hoodie Maven on Twitter. 173 relievers have thrown at least 50 innings since May 21st of 2021, which was last year. Aroldis Chapman since then and during tonight. So this is before last night. Mm-hmm. ERA 4.72, 149th out of 173. FIP 5.55, 172nd out of 173. Sierra, the SI ERA 4.39, 155th. Walk percentage 17.6%, 172nd. So only one guy was worse than him. And the F4 negative 0.8, 172nd out of 173 relievers since last year. He has been
he's
horrendous.
Literally one of the worst relievers in baseball for the last full year.
I remember saying it a few episodes back when he was on his way back, like, here we go, like, great, he's back to like ruin the season, and I don't know.
Sure enough, right?
Do you remember the beginning of last year when we were talking like Aroldis Chapman as a Cy Young in May or whatever, and then yeah, he was. I mean, that's what Clay Holmes is now. I could see Clay Holmes being in the conversation for Cy Young, but we were talking about Aroldis Chapman, Cy Young. I mean, he had a 0 ERA in May or whatever it was, and 0 ERA in May, and then the sticky stuff thing happened. And he completely imploded. I'm not saying it was because of that, but it was kind of like a weird coincidence that right after that happened, he just went downhill.
He hasn't been the same pitcher.
I mean, I don't blame Aaron Boone in that situation yesterday for putting him in there in a wide gap in the division game like that. But I think we've seen enough now. Like he just needs to be used to eat innings. I don't even know if he could be trusted to do that. I really don't know what the answer with Chapman is, but he can't be. I don't want to see him on the mound in any playoff game.
I think it's a confidence thing.
8 innings though. He's not going to go multiple. It definitely is. I mean, at that point,
Yeah.
and one, I mean, it's both. It's both. It's one, he's not good anymore, and two, it's confidence, so he can't be good anymore.
I think it's more confidence than it is that he's actually like not good anymore. Because we've seen recently when he's able to throw his splitter effectively, like, and he has a solid running fastball, like he looks really good. But like obviously hasn't really been the case.
He didn't even throw a splitter yesterday. He had no confidence in his fastball, and he's trying to throw the slider for a strike, which also wasn't working. Every Red Sox hitter's laying off it because it's easy to see. He doesn't have a good slider. He only used it because he thinks it's his best pitch to throw for a strike, which is just insane when you throw 100-mile-an-hour fastball. But that's his go-to strike pitch, like when you need a strike, and that wasn't even working, and they're not swinging at it. So he was hopeless. I mean, he got a couple lucky swings from Bobby Dahlbeck, who's terrible because he threw him at Dahlbeck's like knees, and he's swinging because he's in swing mode. I don't know why, but he can't throw strikes. Like, again, if he can locate, he can be good. But we've also seen him, and I've said this before, like, I feel like he's on the mound to end our season. He's been like multiple times in the past few years, and I can't see that again. He's one of my least favorite Yankees. Like, I'm going on a little rant here, but like, I really think like this guy is a serious issue. Like, I
can see them trading him at the deadline.
I hope they do. I don't know if any team.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know what they would get.
I don't know how big the interest would be. Package him with Gallo. You got a great duo there.
Anyways, we should definitely move on to the next Yankee of the week. We had a long conversation.
Oh, geez. This is still the Aaron Hicks conversation.
I mean, it's not really
Aaron Hicks. Not related, but yes, it's still that same.
Well, yeah, that's what prompted it.
I will go first, Brian. I'll let you go since you have a good one. My Yankee of the week this week is Josh Donaldson. So, the bringer of rain. Last week, I had Josh Donaldson as my Yankee of the week for bad reason because he was garbage, and I thought that it was almost time for him to kind of be on his way out. And I was also making a case for, as I'm pulling up his stats, I was making a case for Carpy to play a full-time role because he's earned it. But Josh Donaldson took my comments personally, and over his last 29 at-bats, his last 7 games, he's hitting 241. With 10 RBIs, 3 home runs, with a 552 slug and a 258 on base percentage. And he became, up until I want to say 2 nights ago, when he botched that double play to end the game, he had been a Red Sox killer in the series. I mean, he was just absolutely raking in the first 2 games. I just clicked the wrong tab on my computer when I was trying to pull his stats back up. But he raked in the first 2 games.
Against Pittsburgh.
Raked against Pittsburgh. He had a grand slam in Pittsburgh. Was it a grand slam in Boston? Yeah, grand slam in Boston. So yeah, I mean, he's been raking, and before, he
didn't hit a grand slam in Pittsburgh. He hit a home run in Pittsburgh. It wasn't a grand slam in Pittsburgh. No, Judge and Hicks hit the grand slams in Pittsburgh.
Right.
Donaldson hit.
You're right. Thank you, Danny. But yeah, he has 9 homers on the season. I think last week when I was talking, I think he only had 6, and I was like, that's not something you expect from Donaldson. So him to have 3 home runs over a 7-game stretch looks good to me. And he's flashed his glove in that one play. That barehand play was sick. That was one of the coolest plays I've seen in a long time from a third baseman. But yeah, Josh is my Yankee of the week.
That was awesome.
Hopefully he can keep it up, because if he doesn't, then someone might be coming for his role. But what do you guys have on Donaldson?
Danny, do you want to go?
I mean, it's not like you said, yeah, sure. Like you said, like you were pushing that Carpy has been earning a spot over him. It's not like Carpenter has stopped earning it. Like, Carpenter is still raking. But it's like, if Donaldson keeps hitting like this, obviously you're not going to play Carpenter over him. But yeah, it was definitely kind of weird. Like, we were all raving about Donaldson, and then in the extra innings, he botches that double play. That was game over. Should have won. But yeah, I said I want to see Donaldson play and play well. I mean, because he's that guy on the baseball field with the attitude, with the fuck you, with the whatever
flips.
You want to call it. I mean, the bat flips. He is that guy on the baseball field, and we needed that. He's the guy we needed. But like we said last week, you could have all that, but if you don't perform on the baseball field, then it doesn't matter as much. But I really hope he could continue hitting. Hopefully, that double play doesn't that him blowing the game for us doesn't get to his head. Also, I mean, Rizzo stealing third in the inning, in the extra half inning before that, killing our rally. Like, we could have scored more. That kind of hurt us too. So it's not like Donaldson was just at fault, but still, I hope Donaldson can keep it going, and I think he will. Because we know how he can hit.
I'm not worried about him in the field, but from the double play at least. But go ahead, Brian.
I mean, I said it last week when you talked about Donaldson for bad reasons. Like, I do believe in him. I have believed in him. I thought it was just like kind of a matter of time. The only thing that worried me is his age, but like he's shown he can still do it, especially after this week. He's been hitting the ball hard according to the advanced stats, which is what I said last week. But it is true, and they're finally finding some holes, and he's just hitting him out of the ballpark more consistently now, which is something you want to see him keep up. About the fielding, like everyone makes errors. That was a really unfortunate error that may have cost us the game, but you don't want to pin it just on him. He's in the 94th percentile, outs above average. Like, he's been really, really good. Like I said to you guys, we have 2 Gold Glove third basemen on this team, and we have DJ and Donaldson, who both struggled in this series defensively, I guess you could say. But that's not something to worry about. But he had a great week hitting, and you'd love to see that against the Red Sox, like you were saying, killing them and kind of being like a pest for them, like another guy that the Red Sox fans probably look at like, oh my God, this guy Donaldson, like I hate him. Like, and that's what you want as a Yankee fan. So see Donaldson have a good week like that, see the power stroke come back a little bit. It could be a really good sign for the Yankees. Another thing, I mean, we talked about Hicks and Donaldson. I'm going to talk about my guy who also kind of falls into this category, which is, those are the guys you need to perform when guys like Judge and Stanton are struggling a little bit, and we can admit that they are. Power number wise, I mean, Judge is still getting his hits. Stanton broke out with a nice home run last night, but over the course of that week against the Pirates, like, I mean, I guess Judge had a big home run too, but like whenever everyone's not performing, you need those guys to step up, and they have. And Hicks and Donaldson, and my Yankee of the week that's coming up has performed in a big way too.
Give it to us.
All right, I guess we're going to talk about Matthew Martin Carpenter. Gonna bring out
Martin. I like
that.
that.
From Galveston, Texas. Went to TCU. If anybody was curious about that, but
Brian, did you see the Carpenter post yesterday that I sent you? They posted his edit.
The Johnny Cash song?
Yes.
That's what I was just going to talk about.
Yeah.
Matt Carpenter,
he's like a cowboy.
The old man in the sea, Matt Carpenter, who's how even old is he now? He's old. He's in his late 30s. He's 36. Is now posting Instagram edits of him to like Johnny Cash songs. Yeah, it's calling himself the cowboy, and it was just awesome. Like, he is so fun, and you can only do that stuff when you are a beast on the baseball field, which is what he's been. Just to throw out his last 7 game stats: 2 homers, 5 RBIs. Hitting .435, on base percentage of .500, slugging percentage of .783. Like, he's been insane. I mean, even his last 30 are in front of me. Why not just share them? Because they're even better. I mean, which I don't even know if he's played 30. These might be just his total Yankee stats, because I don't know if he's played 30 games. But 344, 447, 859 slashing, 859 slugging is crazy. And then 10 homers, 22 RBIs. Like, he's been legitimately one of the Yankees' best players when he's in the game. That's what I said yesterday. Like, oh, there's our best player after another hit. But like, it's kind of like he's been one of the best players in the league when he's in the game. I think I saw a stat. He has like the highest OPS when he's playing. And Beltran said, that's good. I think that's why I remember that. Somebody was like, oh, when Carpenter's playing, I think Rucco said when Carpenter's playing, he has the best OPS in baseball. And Beltran said, that's good. So that is why I remember that. But he has been great pickup. The worst dude, commentator in sports.
The Carp Dog feels like a fever dream.
Oh my God, when he said
it actually feels like a fever dream. It actually doesn't feel real. Like, watching this guy hit, I kind of feel similar to the way that I felt about Nestor earlier in the season. Like, I was just waiting for Nestor to kind of fail. And now I kind of feel that way about Matt Carpenter. Like, he comes up to the plate and I'm like, there's no way. Like, it's just insane. Like, he's legitimately one of the best hitters in Major League Baseball right now. It's absolutely insane right now. Yeah. Shout out again to Talking Jake. This is a great tweet. I was hoping I was going to save it for the pod, but Matt Carpenter has as many home runs as any player on the Chicago White Sox. Tonight is his 20th game started. That's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. He's
crazy.
And the best part about him, that not even just the mashing, we always talk about the stash. I love the stash.
Did you see that picture they showed of him side by side with Mattingly? They look exactly the
I
same.
did. Yes, they look very, very similar.
He's such a great Yankee. I mean,
I
I was talking
commented
about,
on.
yeah.
Sorry, Brian. I commented on Carpy's post yesterday, Brian, with the Johnny Cash song. And said, "Carpy, you give me chills."
I mean,
I was hoping he was gonna like
too.
it, but he didn't like it. So
he probably, dude, he's 36. He probably doesn't know how to work Instagram. So whoever is running his account just sent that to him. I mean, there's definitely someone working for the Yankees that sends them these edits.
Definitely Judge.
Somebody's working for the Yankees that like sends them these edits because they all like post their own player edits. Like,
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But so Carpenter has no idea what the hell is going on social media wise. He's just up there to rake. But another point I want to bring up with Carpenter is you see it, they're letting him play left field now, which is a very big development because we saw.
Hey, who said that last week on the pod and you guys gave me shit for it? Like,
I can't believe
it. You can't play left. Come on.
Well,
come on.
I don't know if we said that.
On,
Danny, he hadn't played the outfield since 2012.
That's literally 10 years ago.
Well, he played left. Give Danny his props. How about it? How about we do that first?
Of course, I'll give you your props. Like I said 3 times already. Got to give credit where credit's due, but that was definitely the unexpected.
What were we? We were in 5th grade when this guy played left field the last time. We're almost out of college. I mean, that's insane.
That's insane.
I mean, I don't know. We were talking like, can he even run? I mean, I guess that they're trusting him out there, but like again, like that could be huge. Like we keep talking about the outfielder move possibly, but I mean, if Hicks continues like this, and if Carpenter is an outfield option, maybe you don't need it. So I don't know. There's a lot of things
they won't even, like you said, they won't even have to go out and acquire anyone.
Yeah.
Even though I still want them to get Benintendi. Go ahead, Danny. Sorry, buddy.
Ian Happ is better.
So I like Ian Happ, but it's so like bizarre what's going on. When we signed him and we're kind of like whatever signing, like just a piece until maybe guys come back, whatever. And we kind of gave him like a week or two to be on the Yankees, then he'll be gone. Then all of a sudden he's just mashing. And honestly, like Chase, I agree with you. Like when he's coming up to the plate, you don't expect him. He's not a guy you expect to be your best hitter. But right now he certainly has been, and it's like you don't expect it. I mean, and he has to find a way to play every single day. We cannot be putting him back on the bench. He has to play every day. And I love how Boone. I honestly, props to Boone. I love how Boone is getting him any opportunity he can to get his bat in the lineup. I love to see it. And it feels like now every time Carpenter's up, he's going to do something. He's going to get a hit now. I mean, he's just that automatic.
Yeah, it's insane what we're witnessing. Like, it sounds like an exaggeration. Like, it sounds like I'm being sarcastic because you would never think Matt Carpenter. It's insane what we're witnessing, but like it literally is. Like, it's insane what we're witnessing. Like, you don't see this.
He was hitting third for the Yankees. I saw a tweet like, if you told me at the beginning of the year that Matt Carpenter would be hitting third and hitting like, given the numbers he's had, like it's actually unbelievable. Like I can't like this is the best he's like ever been in his career, and it's when he's 36 after he was struggling to stick around on a roster the last 2 years. Like his numbers last year were just awful the whole year, and he's crushed them already in not even 30 games. Like I don't know. It's been something to witness, and I was telling you guys yesterday, got to give credit to Brian Cashman because what a find that was. Like seriously.
Yeah. Definitely. And like you guys said, like you got to find a way to get this guy. You got to find a way to get this guy at bats. Like you have to. Like he can't be out of the lineup. Like right now, I feel like obviously you got your Judge, you got your Stanton. Those guys are locks to be in the lineup. Rizzo's a lock to be in the lineup. DJ should be a lock. I think Glaber should be a lock now. Carpenter should be a lock at this point. Like, and Hicks too, with the way he's been hitting. Like these guys are all locks. Like they have to be in the lineup every single night if you're really trying to win every single game.
It's hard though. I mean,
do you think the MLB will give us an extra DH? Give us a 10 spot in the lineup?
That's what I'm saying though. Like realistically, Chase, like how, like what do you want?
The point I wanted to make too.
It's tough when you really try to game
kind of like a rotation, but
when you try to game plan it, it's okay. So let's go through it. You got Trevino, a catcher. That's my ideal catcher. Obviously, I think we all agree there. Rizzo, got to have Rizzo in the lineup. I love
second
Glaber.
Base is where it's tricky.
I love Glaber at second. I love him at second.
Agree.
Obviously IKF. If only Glaber could play a competent short, man, it would make everything so much easier. But IKF at short.
Throw Carpenter out there. He'll figure it out.
Yeah. Oh my God, that would make.
Honestly, I would rather Marwin Gonzalez play short at this point.
I totally agree.
Marwin at short. I think I'd play Donald. No, I'd play DJ at third. I would DH Donaldson. I'd play Carpy in left.
I don't know if he could play
but then Stanton doesn't play. Oh no,
yeah, dude, it's like impossible.
And then or Stanton or Hicks doesn't play. Shit, man.
It's impossible. You can't get them all at bats every day.
It's sad because they all
then
deserve
Hicks
at bats
doesn't
right
play.
now. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's tough.
But this
I guess you just
is
ride the
a
hot
good
hand.
problem to have. It's a
It's a very
great
good problem.
problem to have.
Yeah, it's a very good problem to have. I mean,
Yeah.
And Gallo's on his
But I wanna
say
way
this,
out.
like,
He's
the point I
out,
was
man.
gonna-
He's out now.
He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. But the point about Carpenter, it's just also his story. Like, it's such a great story. He completely fell off. He was a very good hitter for St. Louis, and then all of a sudden he completely fell off. He went on like a hiatus, like trying to figure it out. He went to like 4 different hitting coaches to see what was wrong with his swing. He just worked and tried to get back. He finally was in the minors in Texas. He got out of that contract and he was sitting and waiting for a team to call him, and one team did.
Mhm.
That was the Yankees, and that turned out pretty well, I think.
That's the best
Yeah,
part
it's just
about it.
awesome how much he cared. I mean, you're 34, you're 35 years old. I know now he's 36, but when this all happened, like 34, 35 years old, you're old, like kind of already had a good major league career. Kind of some guys at that point just, I'm done, whatever. But he loves the game so much and he wanted to be good again so badly and he wanted to play. And now he finds himself on the best team in the league.
it's also he believed he could be good again, and
Yeah.
it's like a big thing. And he loves being here so much. And I know we talk about guys like that because we love that so much. When the guy clearly loves to be here so much, that's what we were talking about when they signed him. Like, oh, he wants to carry the airport bags. Like, and he was kind of like a joke. And we're like, now we're sitting here. I don't know how much longer it's been, but this guy is a huge piece of this like 2020 Yankees team. And where would we be without him? Like,
Yeah, it's marvelous. It's marvelous.
great word, man. Great word.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. But like you said, Danny, only one team reached out to him, and I was gonna make that point too. I'm glad that you brought that up. But only one team reached out to him, and like, it's insane because if you really think about it, if this guy was playing a full 162, you have to wonder if he continued to hit at this pace, if he would get MVP votes. That's how good he's playing.
Yeah.
Like 36-year-old Matt Carpenter getting MVP votes if he
Imagine.
played a full season. That's how ridiculous this is. Like, we're not exaggerating. This is real. Like, this is a real deal.
Yeah.
And you say that thing about the one team. That's what I want to highlight too. I mean, like people want to shit on Cashman, but I mean, like I said to you guys, where would we be without Matt Carpenter, Jose Trevino, and Clay Holmes? Like,
Oh, how can we
All-star.
forget? We have
All-star
to shout out
congratulations.
Trevino for making his first
I-
All-Star appearance.
that's where I was getting to, man. That's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
And
I
Nestor,
spoiled
Nestor
it.
too. Nestor
Listen,
too.
I know, but so where would we be without those three? We gave up. I think it was just Hoy Park. We gave up for those guys because we ended up getting Abreu back in the Trevino trade, Clay for Hoy Park, and,
Yeah, that was a great trade. I mean, we knew that was a great trade.
and then signing Carpenter for literally nothing. And those guys have been huge. So like, props to the front office, Brian Cashman, the scouting department for seeing something in those three guys who have really not been good at any. Well, Carpenter was good at a point, but not for the last 2 years. Like those guys have not shown much, but the Yankee scouting saw something in those three guys that they could help the team, and they have in a tremendous way. And that leads into my congratulations to Jose Trevino, Clay Holmes, Nestor Cortez. Well, those are the guys that just got in yesterday. Who am I? I know Judge Stanton.
Judge Stanton.
And
you say
Cole.
Clay?
Stanton.
Oh, you said Cole? Yeah. 6 All-Stars,
Yeah.
boys. We're being represented
No, he
well
said
in
Clay
LA
and I
this year.
Cole.
Being represented well.
Good. 2 starters too.
Yeah. Gotta love it. And you
But,
can like I was saying on
honestly,
Twitter,
I think all 3 of us.
I was saying on Twitter that you could make the argument that Glaber and Mike King should have made the All-Star team too.
I think King definitely should be,
But go ahead, Danny. What were you gonna say,
I
buddy?
mean, all three of us maybe owe Brian Cashman a little bit of an apology for our first episode of this podcast. I mean, I know that was kind of based on that Donaldson trade. I mean, we could say what we want about the Donaldson trade now. I mean, I don't know, looking back, would we have rathered something else? I mean, we could have got Correa, but I mean, the team is the best in baseball. So really it worked out just fine. I mean, I don't know how great the trade was still. Because IKF is brutal. Donaldson has been struggling, but I still love Donaldson. But yeah, I think we owe him an apology because he's built the best team in baseball right now.
I wonder how different this team would look if they kept Gio at short. Remember when they tried Gio at short a little bit and he was very, very successful at short? I wonder how things would be if they had Glaber, Gio, and Donaldson. Because the Twins didn't they want Gary? Like that was their main piece of the trade. Like they didn't care. Like Gio was like a throw-in, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm
know.
wrong.
I
Maybe I'm
really-
wrong, but
they tried to throw in Donaldson was honestly a little bit.
I
of a
just remember,
throw
I
in
remember
the
like
team's
John Heyman, dude.
Gary Sanchez goes to
Yeah.
Twins.
I remember that when that trade happened, John Heyman. It's literally I'm on my phone whenever I get the notification. It's just Gary Sanchez has been traded to the Minnesota Twins. He's literally the most important part of that trade. Like, it's just,
he was, yeah. And that's our weekly Gary. That's our weekly Gary reference. So shout out to Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we have an all-star catcher.
Always
He's
gotta
not,
do it.
so
I love Trev
Yeah.
Poppy. I love him. I'm so
I
happy
mean,
for
I love
him.
Gary.
And those
really,
videos,
really.
those videos of Boone telling the guys that they were all stars was. Did you guys see the one of they were awesome? But did you guys see the Clay one? Clay
I
Holmes
didn't watch.
one.
That's the only one I didn't watch.
The Clay Holmes one was like really bad. Like Boone was like, he like sat him down. He's like, "Well, you're going to L.A." And then Clay was like, "Nice." That was it. Clay must be like a robot behind the scenes, and we don't even know it.
I can totally see that.
And then Boone was like, "How do you feel?" He's like, "Yeah, it's great." And then Boone was like, "Not that it's a surprise or anything." He's like, "Yeah." It was like what? Like what
Maybe-
are we watching? Like, what am I
maybe he
watching?
thought he got traded to the Dodgers or something.
Maybe. I wanted to know. I wanted to see the Garrett Cole one. I wonder if they did one with Cole because I was like, was he like saying shit that like they couldn't post? You know what I mean? Like, was he like cursing and talking out
know.
of his head?
A guy like that
crazy.
though, a guy like that has been an all-star so many times. Like I think they just want to do it for like the first time all-stars. Like it would really mean something to them.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably why they didn't do it then.
Yeah, I mean, it was so cool to see Trevino and Nestor, especially because you could see how much it meant to them. Like those guys, like both. I mean, Trevino, like long time Yankee fan, like how much. Oh, like it was so cool. Like I can't imagine that feeling. And then you see Nestor was mic'd up yesterday because the stupid ESPN broadcast loves to do that. And if you guys caught
Rizzo.
when Rizzo comes up to him, he's like, Nestor Cortez, like all-star pitcher, like for the rest of your life. And Nestor's like, for the rest of my life. Like he was like, I mean, really happy for him. I hope those guys have fun there, but until then, we got some games to win.
The Trevino video was awesome because at the end of the video, he says, if you would have told me a year ago that I'd be playing for the New York Yankees and that I'd be
We
an
have
all-star.
guys. There's a
Yeah.
lot of
What'd you say, buddy? Yikes.
All right.
I think what Danny was trying to say was that we have a lot of guys who love being a Yankee. I think that's what he was trying to say. What?
Well, no, that's not really, actually.
Okay, so what were you trying to say?
Well, yeah, we do have a lot of guys that love being Yankees, but we also have a lot of awkward guys in
Oh yeah.
public settings and interviews and all that stuff.
DJ.
Like who?
and
Well,
DJ.
DJ.
I was
yeah.
kind of like, I kind of couldn't hear. I mean, Tyson kind of Montgomery,
Oh
I
my
think
God.
most.
Tywone is so funny. When he was mic'd up
But
last
I
night,
couldn't really hear much of what you guys were saying recently.
they're like, Jameson,
That's 2 nights ago.
or 2 nights ago. Jameson, like, how do you feel about this season? Yeah, just when I make good pitches, I feel really good about myself.
I still love him. I hope
He doesn't talk like that.
I hope he gets it. I hope he figures it out again soon because he's good. Like we need him. He can be good.
Yeah, he's been really, really bad. He needs to figure it out. It sucks seeing him suck because when he's good, it's fun. So, but I think
And it's never fun when guys are bad either.
No, it's not. It's not fun. Let's see. What do we got coming up? We'll finish off with
Cincinnati
that.
Reds.
Cincy coming up,
Reds.
and then who's after Cincinnati? Boston again. Okay,
Yeah.
Boston in the Bronx. So we got Cincy, and then we got Boston, and then the All-Star break. So
I could already. Oh,
I actually want really quick. I really want Giancarlo to participate in the Home
Boston.
Run Derby.
Every good at that shirt.
I think Danny's having some Wi-Fi issues right now. In case you couldn't tell, in case the listeners couldn't tell. Brian, how do you feel about Giancarlo in the
Bro.
Home Run Derby?
I want him to do it too. I'm usually against it because I mean, we know what happened with Judge in 2018, but I don't think Stan's the guy that's gonna happen to. I'm glad Judge is staying out of it. I think just let him be.
Yeah.
But Stan in his hometown, he'll put on a show there, and it could be good Yankee representation.
2017.
I think this guy's trying to talk over you, Brian.
I think we're getting his like talking from like 5 minutes ago is
I
coming
think
through
so
right now.
too, Yeah. My brother brought up a good point when I asked him if he wanted Giancarlo.
Can you mute him, Chase? Mute him.
Danny, you're going in timeout for 2 minutes.
Oh my god.
It won't even let me mute him. This kid's hacking the system. Oh my god, it won't even let me mute him. Anyways, when I asked my
It's in 2017. It wasn't 2018, bro.
what is going on?
Oh, I know.
I mean, in the
I
fucking in the home
accidentally
run
said
derby.
Judge in 2018. It was 17. God forbid. Oh my God, that's what he was trying to get out for the last 5 minutes,
No, but I
interrupting the whole
was
show.
saying 2016. You think I was no? I was fucking
Bloop,
saying I
blop.
was fucking saying 2017.
Oh my god,
and
this
you
is
guys were
bad.
like, we're getting his voice from 5 minutes ago.
Anyways, I asked my brother about Giancarlo in the home run derby, and he was saying after Giancarlo participated in the home run derby, the guy was hitting like 2 home runs per night, and that was the home run race between Judge and Stanton. And when Stanton was going off, so if it can help him find a home run swing, not that he hasn't had the home run swing, but like help him find the 2 home run per game home run swing, I'm all for it. And he left,
God.
and he's gone. I think he just gave up and left, unless if he got kicked. But I really want Stanton in the derby representing us.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, I always like a Yankee home run derby. Like, why not? I mean, they've been winning stuff. The Yankees won the home run derby X. If anybody watched that, they didn't.
Yes.
Like,
So
Captain.
I'm just gonna show really quick. Danny saying bye. He spelled bye wrong.
oh, he did. He said bye.
B-U-Y for
B-U-Y.
me. I don't know. On my screen, it's mirrored, so I don't know if it's
No, it looks good.
okay.
For the Spotify listeners, Danny just texted us, say bye for him.
Say B-U-Y. Oh, he just corrected himself. B-Y-E. Okay. But yeah, Stanton in the Derby, 6 All-Stars. Yankees split with the Red Sox. Carp Dog. Josh is playing better, and
Hicks is
Aaron
playing
Hicks is
better.
on fire. So, yeah, and go out and get a starter.
Listen,
Go out and get a starter.
they went 3-3 this week, which is rare. I mean, I said, like, started off with a bad loss, 3 great wins, then 2 bad losses. It's like very up and down this week. Like, she didn't get back on track. Like, the Cincinnati Reds, one of the worst teams in baseball, need like a sweep out of that. Prove why we're the Yankees and why they're at the bottom of the league. And we'll talk about it again, but Boston going into the All-Star break, I don't want another repeat of last year where we're going into the All-Star break like, Jesus Christ, like that was brutal. Like when how the Astros walked off on us, like to go into the break, and it was like just the cloud hanging over our head. Like, I want to finish off in the break strong, like prove again why we're the best team in baseball and why we're better than the Red Sox. But again, we'll talk before then. But
yeah, and I really want to make a quick throwback, Brian, that I just thought of right before we sign off here. Do you remember last year? I know you're gonna remember this, so I know why I'm asking if you remember, but because me and you loved this, but the Yankees were really, really struggling last year, at the break, and then
Judge
Judge was interviewed on the carpet, and then they asked him, "What do you see from the Yankees in the second half of the season?" And he said like a lot of winning, right, or something. He said, "What did he say?" Like
somebody, it was Greg Amsinger of MLB Network that said, like, Aaron, like, why do I feel like the Yankees struggle in the first half? Like, why do I feel like you guys are gonna go on like a tear and just run through like the league in the second half? Like, and he just goes like, for sure. Like, he's like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like something like that.
Something crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they had a good second half, but this team is not like last year's team. Hopefully, because last year's team was not really fun. But yeah, I mean, the first half is coming to a conclusion. I mean, couldn't be happier with where the Yankees are.
So next week for our episode, we are gonna do trade deadline preview. So look out for that. I'm excited for that one. That should be fun. But I think that's all we've got for today, Brian and Danny, even though he's not here anymore. But thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at official STN pod. I held a poll the other day. It only got 8 votes over 24 hours. So that's pretty embarrassing. But make sure to actually, I want to read the tweet really quick. Really, really quick. Hang on while I'm pulling it up.
I think I voted, and I saw you made a thread of it, and you were like, "This is probably gonna get no vote." So
yeah, that's what I was gonna read. You just ruined my thunder.
Oh, I didn't realize. Sorry.
Where is it? Okay. I said, it feels like Aaron Hicks is back. If he can sustain the way he's been hitting, granted it won't all be perfect, the Yankees need to acquire an outfielder. Carpy, Marwin, and Gallo seem like they can all hold down the corner outfield spot. And I also forgot to mention Stanton. So Stanton's in that too. And I held the poll, acquire an outfielder or Carpy, Marwin, and Gallo. And then 75% said of the 8 votes, 75% of the 8 votes said acquire an outfielder. And then I said in the thread, things might go south here because we'll probably get like 2 votes. So
I was laughing at that one. The things might go south.
so yes, interact with us on Twitter, please, at official STN pod, on Instagram at Spreading the News. Thank you all for listening. Did I miss anything?
Nope.
This has been Chase,
Brian, and Danny says bye.
Danny says bye. So thank you all, and we will see you next week. Let's go Yanks, baby.
Let's go Yanks.